I have done some crazy stuff in my life, and some of it actually paid off. Good morning, good life. Welcome back to Amy TV, where we come together to help you go after the life that you want. This episode of Amy TV is sponsored by my friends at LilySilk. So if you want to find out more about these beautiful blouses that I love from them, stay tuned to the end of the video. I'm especially excited about the sweaters that they have for fall. Let's talk about it. The topic of today's video actually came up from a live stream that I did with Shine Squad. If you don't know about Shine Squad, that's at patreon.com/AmyTV. I basically sat down with them and I was like, hey you guys, I have a bunch of video ideas. I would like to run through them with you. And this was one of the ideas that they liked a lot. So I thought I would talk about 3 things that I have done that were major risks at the time and definitely worked out for the better. Just in case you happen to be dealing with anything similar in your life. Before we get started, a little quote I want to share with you. I saw this on my 5-minute journal this weekend and I was like, God, this is such a good one. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Jim Rohn said this. I love this quote because it's so true. If you think about the 5 people you spend the most time with, who are they? And do you want me to be one of them more often? Then, segue, I think you should subscribe to this channel. That's not how I wanted to say it, but that was still cute. If you look at the people in your life and you think like, who do I actually spend the most time with, both in physical form and virtual, maybe I'm one of those people. And if I am, or if you want me to be, then make sure you subscribe to this channel. I make new videos every Wednesday and Sunday, and they're all about helping you go after the life that you want. So whether you need a little bit more confidence, you want some networking tips, we're gonna talk about morning routines, or you need to figure out how to leverage your time better. That's what I'm here for. All right, so let's get into the nitty gritty here. 3 of the biggest and what turned out to be smartest risks of my life. Number 1, not finishing college. This was I feel like this is hard for everybody. Let me kick this off with the fact that if not for politics, my mom would have been valedictorian in high school. And she also went off to the military. She went to college. She did the freaking master's program. She's a teacher for a lot of freaking years. I mean, like, the bar's high on the education side of things in my family, okay? So naturally, it was that I would go to college. And I got there and I remember it so well, sitting down in first orientation with a bunch of freshmen sitting there and saying like, here's all the things that are expected of you. Here's what a syllabus looks like. Here's what it looks like to make dean's list. And I was like, no. I don't think so. I don't think that's gonna be me. Like at some point you're kind of like, ooh, that's kind of motivating, but I just knew in my heart, I probably shouldn't have told myself this, but I just knew in my heart that wasn't gonna be me. During this time, I was also hungry for independence, and so it was this balance of like going to school and also making money. And so I've been working every day since I was 18 years old. I had a job when I started school, and I had a job throughout school. The plan was always to finish. I was going for political science. I thought I was gonna be an attorney. And while I was in college, I was taking night classes and online classes. And it dawned on me, I was like, I want to be an attorney. I feel like that's a really big decision and a lot of money and a lot of time in school. So why don't I actually try to go and get experience in this? So I ended up applying for a job at a law firm in downtown Columbus, where I now live. It's all coming together now. And I ended up getting that job. Long story short, I was a receptionist for that company for 1.5 years. And then I started working for a brand new partner to the firm who was in the lobbying and fundraising sector. And I got very excited about that because that was something that I was working toward in my degree. I knew that I was focused on political science, and I was like, I could already have the job with this guy. And that's what happened. I worked for him for 4 years, and during that time, it suddenly was a moment of crossroads for me. Do I keep working, or do I start taking my degree qualifications, essentially? I was done with all my general education, and it was a lot harder to fit in poli-sci classes outside of 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. So I was like, okay, I could keep taking these classes, go further into college debt, which was already scaring the crap out of me at the time. and that would be great. I'll eventually get a degree. But if I do that, I have to quit this job. And at the time, everybody was graduating college and not getting the jobs. Like, they were like barely getting crappy jobs, much less the jobs that qualified with their degree or whatever. I was going for a degree and already had a killer job that anybody graduating with that degree would have wanted. I was raising money. I was calling the governor's office. I had a 401k. I had the whole thing. So it was like, that's stupid. I mean, not good. No college degree and college debt. Worse, leaving to go further into debt to be in school to learn something I was already doing. I was learning these soft skills already and getting paid for it. I never like to say anybody has job security. I think that that is a myth. There's no such thing as job security. You could lose your spot at any time. I kind of had it. Like I was doing really good. I was only getting better. I wasn't the best assistant in the entire world, okay? I'm not that detail oriented, but I really, really tried very, very hard for my boss because I just wanted him to be happy and I liked what I was doing. So that is why I didn't finish college. That was the executive decision I had to make. Little did I know that later it would be kind of cool that people drop out of college. Like, I still don't feel like it's that cool. I think I should have never gone, but I don't actually have any regrets because I know that every single thing that I've done, every step that I've taken has gotten me to this point. So that is my first huge risk that ended up paying off. The second biggest risk that I took in my life that ended up paying off, which, man, that was like trying to test fate twice. Really, Amy? Leaving that job without the degree and without going down that same career path and starting a business. So while I'm doing this job, I quit college. I was doing a great job, but I had also discovered a passion on the side. And I've talked a lot about this in the past. Clearly, this is my passion. You guys catch up with me. So I'm doing this as like my side hustle, right? I was first, it was just making fun videos. Then it was starting a side business and being really excited about what I was doing in my evenings and weekends when I wasn't at work. And then I was like, oh my God, I have to leave. Like, people are not going to take me serious in my business if I'm still giving 40 hours of my week to somebody else and a lot of brain space too. I knew that I was going to have to leave. I knew that was going to be an unpopular decision with many because leaving college was already hard enough for the people in my life. But then leaving a very, very, very good job. I loved that job. And so I actually was losing sleep over the decision to leave a year in advance of actually leaving. Like, that's how long it really took for me to feel like I got my ducks in a row. It wasn't over preparation. It was just, again, I'm taking a big risk, so I need to make sure I have certain things in place or a little bit more networking, a little bit more contacts, maybe a little bit more work coming my way. There was also this illusion that if I'm going to leave, I hopefully will be making as much money as my paycheck pays me in order to leave. That doesn't happen. I mean, like, it does happen for a lot of people, but when you're in services, I think it's very, very difficult to make that happen because you're trading time for money. So you literally only have so much time to trade. And when you can't give up 40 of those hours and somebody can't even call you on the phone and talk to you during that time, it's just way too hard to make that happen. But the reason it ended up paying off was all the networking, all the conferences I attended, all the work that I was doing, working for free. You've got to do it. Do not trick yourself into thinking if you're going to start a business, especially in services, that you don't have to do a little bit of work for free. It ended up working out because I left. I was on my own. I remember the first day at the coffee shop, so excited to work out of a coffee shop on a Monday morning, pumped, and I let as many people know as possible, hey, I just wanted to let you know I'm officially full-time on this thing. So if you hear of anybody that needs assistance or just kind of wants to bounce ideas around, I'm here for them or you or whatever. And I had full-time work within a couple of weeks. It might have been a week, actually. It was so quick to transition, but there was groundwork that I laid. So that's what made it still a risk because it's not a reliable paycheck. That's the major part of it. No health insurance, no 401k, no paycheck. All of that's gone. But smart in the fact that I wasn't just jumping off a cliff. I was already starting to climb that mountain and sort of jumping over up to another peak. And so it was really, really crazy at the time. My then boyfriend didn't approve. My family was kind of like, what? I remember sitting down with my dad at one point. I think he was just worried in general. And, you know, when you don't have a culture of talking about money that much, like just in general, we as a culture don't talk about money that much. So it was pretty much kind of the same in my house. And I remember being home once and my dad just sitting me down and going like, I just wish that you could take all of these skills that you have and go and make like $60,000 somewhere at a good job. And I was like, Dad, I've already made 90 this year, so. And he was like, what? I was like, yeah, it's not a bad start. I mean, like, it's just crazy to think about that. But like, you know, this is why we need to talk to each other more about finances and be really honest about it. And also do the things you have to do to get yourself prepared without over paralyzing yourself. I think my need for independence, once again, just trumped any security looking good. The third and final risk that I've taken so far that really, really, really paid off was writing my first book. I like to make videos, as you may have guessed. And it was really weird for me to be at a stage of business and speaking where everybody was like, you need a book, 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 you need a book. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so sick of hearing about this. I have 1,000 videos on the internet that you can watch for free. Why do you need to buy a book from me? And so I just wasn't coming to terms with the fact that it's okay to have multiple mediums and that people can learn from you in lots of different ways. And so writing my first book was a huge risk because first of all, I'm not a natural writer, but I had so much like imposter syndrome about having somebody help me ghostwrite it or help me co-write it or whatever. I was like, I just have to do the one. It's all in my head. It's fine. It's just going to take me eons to do. And when I get it done, it'll be done. Great. It was just so incredible. Even when the audiobook didn't come out on time, even when, you know, it was just like things were not perfect. There were typos. There were so many things that were not perfect about that book. And yet it launched and people bought it. And if you're in this community and you bought that book the week it came out, you have no idea how much that changed my life. Having a #1 bestseller on Amazon is an incredible feeling. And it's a really critical time. Launching a book is unlike launching any other product, especially now going into 2020. It's very, very different. So that was a huge risk because taking time away from all the things that were making me money or being the things I needed to focus on because they were a really major focus for me and saying, now this needs to be a focus and it will hopefully pay off for all those other things. It was a risk. It was a lot of time that was taken out of my life to do. And it paid off so big and mostly in the education, not financially as much as educationally for me, that I can step out of my comfort zone of just sitting in front of a camera and jabbering away and put my thoughts down a little bit more elegantly in a manual that really a lot of people found helpful. That's one of my greatest wins. And I've talked about this before. That book was one of my greatest wins, being able to reach people in that way and help them in a way that I hadn't yet. Yes, you can go back and watch every video, but just like you should allocate resources to buy books, buy coaching, buy products that can teach you something. It's going to be a much better use of your time. And I just did not see the big picture on that until the book came out. And so I'm just so grateful for that, which is why I'm excited about this next one coming out very, very soon, because it's like taking all my morning routine videos and turning them into your ultimate morning manual without feeling like you have to be like everybody else. So I'm really excited about that risk. I hope this risk was worth taking. That's what I want to know. Those are 3 huge risks that I took that ended up being super smart. I would love to hear if there's a risk that you're thinking about taking that you're not sure about, because I think it's really good to have people who you can talk to about it. Leave that in the comments below and let's help each other out. As I shared before, I'm super grateful to LilySilk for partnering with me on this episode. I did feel like a more professional look was appropriate for this video, so just super pumped that they were here to support. This very much reminds me of my law firm days. I used to always just throw a blouse on and some black slacks and heels and go on my way every single day. I had basically like a uniform for working at the office. It was just so much easier to wake up that way, right? Just need a different shirt that's clean, wear one of your pairs of slacks, and you're done. So this definitely was appropriate. This is a lot more like modern day professional vibes for me now. I just want to show you a little bit of a close-up of this shirt that I have on specifically, because what I love about LilySilk is that no matter if you're shopping for their signature silk tops or something else, it's very, very high quality on a more reasonable budget. So if you're like me and you have situations where you definitely want to level up, look a little bit more professional, but still want to save a few bucks, this is a fantastic resource. I'm also very excited about their sweaters. I load up on sweaters for fall because it's just sweaters, jeans, belt, boots. Done. Great uniform for fall to winter. It's like my favorite thing. I do want to show you a couple of these looks in front of my mirror, so let's pop over there. Here's outfit number 1. I love duster sweaters like this, but they're so hard to make look good unless you have something really classy underneath. So that is why I specifically love LilySilk. Oh my gosh, so pretty. And definitely love a good slacks and heels look. If I had my boots out yet, I might have boots on instead, but definitely felt like this was a classy office outfit. And outfit number 2, oh, I love this sweater so much already because if you don't even like tucking it in, it bunches up really nicely at the bottom. So it's not like, you know how sometimes they get a little too frumpy? This isn't like that. I don't even feel like I have to tuck it in. It looks so nice. And I did find a little pair of boots. Yay! That is the uniform, honey. That is what I wear in the fall and the winter, honestly. It's the best. Need some new jeans though, let's be honest. I'll leave links to these 2 products in the description below, and there's a lot more great stuff for you to check out on their site. While you're there, friends of Amy TV do get a discount when they purchase from LilySilk, so make sure you use the discount code AmyTV at checkout. Links, as always, in the description below. If you're not already hanging out with me on my other favorite place on the web, that's Instagram. Make sure you check that out at Schmatastic, or you can search for Amy Landino in the search bar. That's all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. Make sure you subscribe for good vibes, kiss the ones you love, and go after the life that you want. Cheers. What's my inspiration? Brows on fleek though. Ah, yes, of course.